All right, for this video, we're gonna talk about Saran wrap and how we use that with watercolor paints. Saran wrap is a technique. I think of it kind of 4 different steps. The first step is you're gonna paint something onto your paper. Now, because we're gonna actually get all of this kind of wet, to do different samples, just like we did with our flicking, what I like to do is actually take these pieces of practice paper and cut them into quarters and have kind of a pile of smaller pieces of paper here, so that we can get different samples in these smaller sections so that we don't warp those larger pieces of paper. Okay, so again, those 4 different kind of parts to this Saran wrap. The first part is that we're gonna paint our actual surface. I choose, and I think it works the best, if we do kind of this wet on wet. And actually drop a lot of paint into and onto the paper. You can do it wet on dry, but it's not necessarily gonna always work out the best. You want a lot of kind of paint on there. Okay, so once I have the paint, I'm gonna take just normal, regular kind of cling wrap or Saran wrap, and I'm gonna layer that over the top of our painting. Our third step is we're then going to adjust that with our fingertips, right? We're gonna move it around. Now this is the part where you actually have to kind of work a little fast, because the more you actually move around, the less that this works, okay? So I'm here, I'm kind of moving and adjusting, creating, and you can see almost these little veins of color that eventually happen and are created as that paint kind of goes up into the Saran wrap. We then need to let this dry, okay? We have this dry. We then kind of the 4th part, we take this Saran wrap off, okay? Now I have one that I've already painted. We take it off and you can see it kind of holds that shape that we create with that Saran wrap. It's a really cool technique that a lot of people use. It is kind of somewhat random, but it's definitely a technique that would be very hard or very difficult to get by just painting. I have one more kind of examples up here. You can see just kind of different samples they got by using different colors, doing different portions, getting a lot of thin lines, getting just a couple really small portions. So that's what you can think about for different samples. Think colors, sizes, different types of veins that we put on there. But it's a really cool painting technique that a lot of students like, and they choose to use for their projects that would just be really difficult to get when you're actually using a paintbrush.